We can all go home now. We just go to lunch. Because the title of the message today is The Wisdom of Uncertainty. And so let's just jump right on in. Reflection. What is it you think you know? What if everything you think you know is wrong? What if thinking you know is the very opposite of knowing? So I'm wondering if anyone else here this morning is like me and fed up with listening to people tell us what they think will keep us safe and secure. Anyone else have the sneaking suspicion that most of the opinions and strategies put forth by candidates and commentators on TV are at best incomplete and possibly totally wrong? What an interesting, paradoxical time we're living in. Confusing, too, unless you consider the law of reversed effort. You could call it the backwards law, like when you struggle to stay on the surface of the water, you sink, but when you try to sink, you float. Like when you try to please all the people, you end up pleasing no one. The law of reverse effort, in relation to our quest for psychological and physical security, and to our efforts to find spiritual and intellectual certainty in religion, politics, or philosophy, is especially intriguing. The crux of the issue, highlighted by the law, is that insecurity is the result of trying to be secure. And conversely, security and sanity can only be found in the acceptance that there is absolutely no way to stay safe and secure. Politics today is a beautiful window through which to view this idea. The more a candidate exerts efforts towards self-justification and self-aggrandizement, the less he or she convinces us of anything. The struggle to make sense of what the candidates are saying comes face to face, brings us face to face with the fact, the truth, that we cannot be found in any of the candidates' rhetoric. Why is this? Because trying to make sense out of chaos is like receiving a parcel of water wrapped in paper. The moment we open it, we release a deluge of water into our laps. Now, this is not about whether any of the candidates are lying or telling the truth. It's just that the more a candidate attempts to put forth solutions to life problems, whether in politics or economics, philosophy or religion, the more we get the impression of gifted, ambitious people trying to convince us that they can show us how to get the water of life into neat and permanent packages. What this amounts to is a lot of ineffective and sometimes destructive ideas which, at some level, we know are not credible. Those of us living today know so much about history, so much detail about the problems of life, that we can no longer truly satisfy ourselves with easy oversimplifications. Which doesn't mean we have stopped trying. Our lust for security drives us toward the hope that what has never worked in the past will somehow work now. In the past 150 years or so, many long-established traditions have broken down. Traditions of family and social life, of government, of economic order, and religious belief. As the years go by, there seem to be fewer and fewer rocks to which we can cling. Fewer things which we can regard as absolutely right and true. Fewer things that will just stay put, for heaven's sake. We have tried to seek security in religious belief, but it has not helped. Ideas about God and spirituality are changing so fast, we really don't even know what the words mean anymore. For many, like many in this room, this is a welcome release from the restraints of moral, social, and spiritual dogma. To others, however, it is a dangerous and terrifying breach with reason and sanity which threatens to plunge us all into the abyss. Even those of us who are glad the old dogma is fading away have found that underneath our exhilaration is a sort of low-grade, persistent anxiety. We human beings seem to be happy just as long as we have a future to look forward to, whether that future be the next good time we're planning or everlasting life beyond the grave. But what if this future is uncertain? For various reasons, more and more of us are finding it hard to believe in the latter. On the other hand, the former has the disadvantage that when this good time arrives, it is difficult to fully enjoy it without talking about the next good time we're planning. I was laughing at, we had a wonderful time with Patty and Jerry during this week, and what we said to each other is, we got to do this more often. So like, I saw that, right? We got, The thing is, if happiness always depends on something unexpected in the future, or if our security is dependent on someone else having an answer, the right answer, of course, we are chasing a will-o'-the-wisp that will ever elude our grasp. I don't know about you, but there are times when I look upon people who are so clear about their religious beliefs with a kind of envy. Some of them seem to have a calm dignity about them. They seem to be able to handle the insecurity of modern life by believing in unchanging things beyond the reach of calamity, like God or heaven or universal laws of righteousness. Yet at the very same time, claims of religious certainty have sort of a hollow ring, don't they? Sometimes it seems to me that the radically religious believe more in believing than they believe in God. In contrast to the calm dignity of the true believer is the neurotic upset of the educated skeptic. But as the philosopher Alan Watts says, it is a serious misapplication of psychology to make the presence or absence of neuroses the touchstone of truth. It's like saying it's crazy to be upset that the house is on fire. The upset comes from the discovery of a situation we don't know how to handle. To try to escape the upset by ignoring the facts is just not wise. Truth is, our age is no more insecure than any other. Poverty, disease, war, change, politics, and death are nothing new. Even in the best of times, security has never been more than temporary. We have tried to distract ourselves in every possible way. Some turn to an endless round of work or play. Some to an constant search for new knowledge, thinking if they get enough knowledge, they'll be able to fix things. Some turn to drugs and alcohol, some to relationship dramas. We pass each other coming and going. On his very first parachute jump, Private Jones couldn't get his chute to deploy. Free falling out of control, he saw to his amazement a woman rocketing upward toward him. Know anything about parachutes? He yelled. Sorry, she shouted back. Know anything about gas grills? I'm not so sure that more knowledge or information is what either of these folks need at that particular moment. Yet solid, immovable conviction is really rare today, even in the most religious circles. There are very few well-informed individuals who, despite what they are willing to reveal, do not have within them some trace of doubt. In fact, it could very well be that in this age of science and technology, skepticism around spiritual things has become more widespread than belief. But what if the decay of belief is a good thing? What if honest doubt is a sign of intelligence and true spirituality? Mother Teresa certainly had her share of doubt. After all, it has come about, this doubt that we share has come about through the careful and fearless thinking of highly intelligent scientists and philosophers. Moved by a desire for the truth, they've tried to see, understand, and face life just as it is, without wishful thinking. But the thing is, even when logic, intelligence, and reason have been satisfied, hearts can go hungry. Whatever your opinion on this, I think it's fair to say that skepticism has had immense influence on people today and may in fact be the prevailing mood of our world, and I'm talking about around the globe, not just here. We've often speculated why our church is not filled to overflowing. Perhaps this is the main reason. So what are we to do? Are we to write a whole new, perhaps more sophisticated system of belief? Or, as the growth of some of the fundamental churches would attest, try desperately to resuscitate the old one? What if neither is the answer? What if reality, when it comes to concepts of God and eternal life, requires a total correction of the mind, just as clear vision sometimes requires a total correction of the eyes? What if the discovery of this reality is actually hindered by belief? What if belief is actually the opposite of faith? We could think of belief as insistence on truth being what we wish it to be. The believer opens his or her mind only to ideas that fit in with his preconceived notions. Faith, on the other hand, is an unreserved opening of the mind to the truth, whatever that truth turns out to be. Faith has no preconceptions. It is by its nature a plunge into the unknown. Belief clings, faith lets go. Most people believe in order to feel more secure. But we cannot understand life and its mysteries as long as we try to grasp that understanding with the mind. To have running water, we must let go of it and let it run. The same is true of life and God. Where we are today in politics, religion, and philosophy is perfect. It is the harbinger of our evolution. We are ripe for letting go. We have been prepared by the collapse of all those long-held beliefs about what would keep us safe and secure. The disappearance of those rocks that we've been clinging to is not a curse. It is a blessing. To discover the ultimate reality of life, the absolute eternal God, we've got to stop trying to get hold of it through inherently limited and limiting beliefs, even ones as updated and common sense as the 5 unity principles. All beliefs, if held as the truth, block the unreserved opening of our minds and hearts to the mysterious and the unknowable. The presence of God can be felt, but only once we have stopped trying to capture God through words and beliefs that are totally inadequate for the task. It's like believing we could capture the majesty of a sunset by taking a picture of it. When we let go of the idea that anyone has a lock on the truth, whether in the realm of religion or politics or science, I think we're on the right track. With minds and hearts wide open, we are in a state of consciousness through which to experience the presence of a power greater than we can ever fully understand, much less describe in words. So can we live in peace with all this uncertainty? Do we really get it? That the pain of insecurity is not caused by the insecurity itself, but by the hopeless pursuit of it. Yes, but it is useless to say that we should not want to be safe and certain. Calling a desire bad names simply does not get rid of it. The process is that of discovering, really discovering for ourselves, that there truly is no safety, that seeking it is painful, and that when we imagine that we have found it, we don't like it. Because the safety we're looking for can only be found in isolation. We have to build walls around it, walls that keep unwanted ideas out, walls that keep other people out. Is that what we really want? Doesn't isolation itself feel unsafe? There is a sense of freedom that comes with accepting that there is no safety or security. There is a sense of freedom in understanding that no one has the answers. This freedom is a sort of permission to have our own experience of life in the present moment, without theories and explanations, without trying to hold on to the pleasant parts or run away from the painful parts. Again comes this paradox that what makes life so beautiful is death. That what makes life so beautiful is that it is so transient. We treasure the glorious blooms of spring because we know they'll soon be gone. I myself spend my hard-earned money to buy fresh flowers all the time, knowing they'll only be around for a very short time. In class the other night, we were talking about whether it was powerful or useless to have a vision for our lives. Given all the work I've done around vision, you can believe that this question puts me to the test. And the only answer I can come up with is that it's both. It is energizing and fun to have a vision, a plan for the future, as long as we understand that it could change on a dime. And we dance in harmony with the universe, and so we pay attention to our heart's desires. We move toward them because to do so is joyful and because they're based on the reality of our own experience. Not because they are supposed to all happen. Dreams are not concrete. We both believe in our dreams and at the same time know that they are incomplete pictures of the possibilities. Waiting to move forward until there is a complete picture is the same as staying stuck. It's not going to happen, and it's very painful. Yet we set ourselves up for the disillusionment if we think that the dream we hold is the one and only right path for us. There's an old proverb about the ox and the unicorn. The ox is a strong beast of burden. It's very useful for getting things done. We have a dream, and we use our ox to take action toward it. But while we're plodding on down the road with our eye fixed on the prize, we'd better keep watch for the unicorn that may appear in our peripheral vision. The unicorn is a rather misty image, not sure and strong like the ox. It does not come with certainty nor speak with logic. It's a call to turn left when the ox says, "Go straight." The wise turn left. There's a magnificent quality of the soul that allows us to live in peace with uncertainty, that allows us to follow the call of the unicorn when it shows up. And that quality is willingness. Willingness to live fully in the present moment, to experience it not with the mind, but with the body, not with the brain, but with the heart. Willingness is knowing our concept of God may be totally inaccurate and praising God anyway. Because after all, faith is faith. And if we understood God completely, we wouldn't need it. Both faith and God are mysteries. We sense the presence of something that is both I and not I. Willingness is looking at this insane world, looking at it right in the eye, and affirming the presence of good in the middle of it. It's suiting up and showing up for God and people without knowing exactly what will be expected. Willingness is to stand on groundless ground, not having the answers, not knowing the right thing to do, not being concerned with how we'll look to others, not analyzing or blaming or feeling guilty, just being present, available to life, experiencing life, facing life's pain and craziness and saying, okay, this is just how it is right now. And willingness is a condition of the soul that has us ready to throw our arms around this God we do not understand and hold on tight when we are scared or sad or lonely or confused, which of course requires that we're willing to admit that we are scared, lonely, sad, confused, rather than becoming tough and self-reliant or becoming airy-fairy, rather than pretending we have answers when we don't. There is this exquisite, present moment quality to willingness. It's like the man hanging from a sheer cliff. The skinny branch he is holding onto is gradually coming loose from the bush above him. There are hundreds of feet of jagged rocks below him. But as the branch breaks away from the bush, the man notices a ripe strawberry growing out of the crack in the rock right in front of him. He grabs for it and pops it into his mouth, and it's the most delicious strawberry he has ever tasted in his life. And he smiles because life is good and it ain't over yet. Willingness calls us to lay on the altar the belief that outer appearances are reality. We are asked to trade our faith in material things for faith in spiritual things. We are asked to understand that the unseen is even more real than the visible. We are asked to go beyond logic, what even the most brilliant mind can conceive, and open our hearts to a total, trusting soul connection with the God of our understanding, at least at the moment. We may not know how to make this happen, but we can be willing to have it happen. We can stop resisting and, like our little children, take every opportunity to express our joy and not hesitate to express our pain when that is the reality we're experiencing. So this is the challenge today. Can we give up our sacred cows? Can we let down our guard and open our hearts and minds and allow ourselves to experience the fullness of life without expectation that it will always last, that there's security or safety? Can we stop fighting over things that don't make a whit of difference? Can we praise God, worship in awe, and feel the love and gratitude with one big beating heart? This is what expands and stirs up the spirit and makes us feel more alive. And I believe that God can do wonders in this world from people who are stirred up and feeling alive, don't you? So how does one know if he has this quality of willingness? Well, one telltale sign is an easy, relaxed sense of humor. A sense of humor that shows up even in the darkest hour. Like Martin Levine's widow, Martha, who placed this obituary in the New York Times. Martin Levine, owner of a chain of movie theaters in the city, has passed away at the age of 65. The funeral will be held on Thursday at 2:10, 4:20, 6:30, 8:40, and 10:50. When we can laugh in the midst of our pain, it's a sure sign that our pain is not all there is, that God is there and good is there. At every moment, the universe is making us an irresistible offer. All we need is the willingness to accept it. God bless you all. Thank you.